Alright, so welcome back. We are playing game 4. kAzE is leading 2, and I have one game victory. So basically, yeah, I forgot to no, I forgot to shuffle, which you always should do. But I mull down, mull and keep. So I have a V2 kAzE guild mage, which is pretty awesome. Able to produce tokens, able to what's it called? Able to populate tokens, and I have an Azorius Arrestor, and I do have enough land. I think altogether that's 5 points of mana in between those 4 lands. So my turn. And I have a Sky Husser, which is interesting. You can forecast it by tapping 2 white creatures and draw yourself a card. You're able to do that on your draw step, but you sacrifice the ability to do anything with those creatures because they're tapped down. But that's a pretty good card, no doubt about it. And oh, no, you don't. You don't sacrifice any ability because when it comes into play, that is, if you play it on the same turn as you forecasted, you can forecast it every turn if you want to, which means to basically show your opponent that you have this card. So you forecast it and it draws you a card, but if you then play it, it untaps all your creatures, so that's pretty interesting. You can also swing in with everything and then cast the creature, and it untaps everything you have, so it's pretty decent card. Alright, he drops a Rogue's Passage. He has a Lawbroker down, which is a card that makes it so that all players draw a card and sacrifices a card. Lee of Sky Knight detains my V2 kAzE Guild Mage. He swings in with the Lawbroker, or maybe... yeah, he does, yeah. So 1 point of damage. I drop the island here. I thought maybe I should have gotten my Azorius Chancery down instead. Yeah, that might have been the play. But I arrest his Sky Knight, so return the favor, and yeah, end step. So I think that was a bit of a mistake as well. I should really have dropped the Azorius Chantry, because that would have made it so that I would be able to let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that would have been no, still the same. Yeah, okay, it's not a big deal then, but still need the Chancery down if I want to drop the Sky Husser anytime soon, or just forecast it. Actually, I can forecast it on my turn without being able to cast the Sky Husser, and I might end up doing that. Let's see. He casts something. He's tapping all of his mana. Skymark Rock. That's pretty significant. Yeah. So he can bounce a creature as when he attacks. He can bounce a creature to my hand. And either of the 2 that I have, because both of them have toughness of 2 or less. Alright, end phase, it's my turn. When I actually wake up from my slumber here. Dun 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 dun. So I need to win this one in order to stay in the winners brackets, and also to stay in the match. Alright, tap this Knightly Valor on her, draw myself a card, lay down Azorius Chancery, and bounce the island up to my hand. And yeah, don't do anything. So that makes it so that he can't target my Guild Mage, but he can target my Azorius Arrestor. So if he wants to, he can bounce that back into my hand, and I can arrest him the next turn, which is a sweet deal for me if he wants to do that. it's probably not preferable for him because he probably doesn't want me to be able to detain other creatures, one of his creatures, because he probably just want to be able to swing in for 6 mana every turn. I do have the Knightly Valor. Doesn't do a lot for me here, but if I can get the Sky Hussar down next turn, maybe start stabilizing with the life that I gained from the healer. Make it bigger, make the Sky Hussar bigger with the Knightly Valor, so that it has vigilance and is a 6/3. Yep. He drops a Screeching Griffin, which can stop my creatures from blocking. He decides not to do anything about that, or about he decides not to bounce my Azorius Arrestor. Sorry, I'm just zoning out because I'm thinking about. I'm just observing myself play and thinking here. But I think the only play that I basically have here is I'm gonna swing in first. And does he want to take the trade? Nope, he does not want to take the trade. And I drop the Sky Hussar, which is decent, and it untaps my Azorius Arrestor. Nothing special. It's not gonna make it's not gonna make a big difference right there. But I needed something in the air, and question is if he wants to swing in with both of his guys there, because I can't keep taking all the damage that he's going to deal. One of the things about his deck is that it's so heavy on. All right, he taps the Lawbroker. And I discard the card that I just drew. That's all right. I'm making my way through my deck. He discards a land as well. Yeah, one of the things about this deck is that it's pretty aggro, but it is in a more significant way all about the evasion. It's very, very difficult to deal with. Very strong in that sense. And that's why, like, I don't have a lot of flyers in my deck. Didn't have a lot of flyers in the previous deck, but did have a little bit more removal than I do in this deck. So this makes it a little bit more difficult for me to deal with. He has a Courier Hawk. And my turn, I guess. At least he doesn't have the Halcyon Glaze. Yeah. So, interestingly enough, I drew Scatter the Seeds, which I can cast for its Convoke cost if I want, but it will also help me cast the Siege Worm without spending too much mana. And that's basically one of the reasons I run it, is to be able to cast my Convoke cards for cheap. Okay, Knightly Valor makes it a 6/5. And I get a 2/2 Knight token. So that's pretty decent. 2/2 Knight Vigilance. Wow, I cannot spell for the life of me. So yeah. And I'm contemplating whether or not I should swing in, because I need to make something happen here. Eventually he'll be able to do something about my Sky Hussar, and as soon as that's the case, I'm pretty much done, because he has right now he has 9 power in the air, and I'm down to 13. So he Lawbrokers. I draw a card here as well. Plains, don't need the plains, so I'm just gonna sack it or discard it. And he really needs to make his way through the deck. He throws out the Halcyon Glaze. Apparently doesn't feel that it's going to make a big difference for him, which I think is interesting, especially considering that it made such a huge difference for him in the previous matches. He casts the Courier Hawk, a hawk, which is a yeah, another one of those 1/2 vigilance flying, and draw a forest. Not really drawing in anything interesting here, but I do have the siege worm, which is or could make a huge difference eventually. So what do? I do have the centaur healer, and but I think I'm considering whether or not I should yeah. So I'm just gonna tap a bunch of things here and cast the siege worm. There we go. So I get a 5/5 trample guy, which I can start swinging in with, and that's gonna make a huge difference because now I have a 6/5, and that's flying, which keeps his flyers at bay, and I do have a siege worm, which is going to make a difference on the ground. He's probably going to... Okay, he taps the Lawbroker again, draws me a Vortex Siren, which is pretty significant because I will be able to pump my guys. Or actually, I'll also be pumping his guys, but yeah, it depends. I throw away the Scatter the Seeds, don't really need them all too much, which it could be a mistake because I could have, of course, cast the Scatter the Seeds and use Vortex Siren on the green creatures. All right, Rogue's Passage. He gets in, and I think he's going to bounce my knight. Yeah, bounce my knight. All right. Here we go. I draw the Verdant Eidolon. It's not a huge game changer here, but I think I'm going to swing in, especially because I will be able to pump my my siege worm, and I might also... No, I'm not swinging in with the Hussar. No. Does he block? Alright, so he blocks with one Courier Hawk. Okay. And takes how much damage? 3 damage. Alright. Yeah. Sorry, this gameplay can be a little slow. It's just so much slower than watching Duels of the Planeswalkers. Plus, you don't have all the cards up in your face here, so yeah. Plus, I'm contemplating my moves. I'm not playing right now because this is post-commentary, but still. Alright, Verdant Eidolon. I throw that away because I got the Compulsive Research. It's his turn, by the way. He can attack again if he wants, and well, bounce my Azorius Arrestor, or just do 3 points of damage if he wants, and that is probably what he's going to do. Yeah. Makes the Skymark Rock unblockable. I'm gonna take 3 damage, and he's not gonna bounce anything. My creatures are either too big or have hexproof, or the is an Azorius Arrestor and not worth doing anything about. So I'm just gonna make myself a token here, a Centaur token on his turn, so I can start populating and get in for some damage. So now I have 2 green creatures, or actually with the Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage I have 3 green creatures, but the Guildmage is not going to be significant in that equation. So I'm just going to swing in with my Centaur and my Siege Worm. Swing in for 8 with the ability of pumping, so I can swing in for 10 if need be. The question is, does he want to take all that damage or not? Just put it on blockers step so we can see if he decides to block anything or no. I'm just fiddling around here. Okay, he uses the Courier Hawk to block the Centaur and take the 5 damage. Alright, and put it on end step. Decide not to populate just yet because let me see, how much mana do I have? Actually I have enough to populate twice. He says, he writes, thank God, draws the mountain, and yeah, this is pretty much gonna be the end of me. He swings in with his Liev Sky Knight, the Skymark Rock, and the Screeching Griffin. Obviously I'm gonna block one of them. Skymark Rock, of course, that's the most significant creature. And he is going to waste me and end my life with an explosive impact. Here you go. He does 5 points of damage with his creatures, and there we go, explosive impact. So post-match, I was thinking, would I have survived if I had dropped the Centaur healer? But no, because his creatures bring me down to 2. The explosive impact does 5, and Centaur healer would have brought me up to 5, so I wouldn't have survived that. So that's a bit of a shame. I don't think I would be able to play this more aggressively. He was fairly aggressive in the air. He was doing a lot of damage in the air, and there was basically not much I could do about it. But I think I came pretty close to tying the match up, and it would have been interesting to see if I could go into round 5 here. But nope. Game 5, and perhaps taking the first round. But all in all, I think kAzE had the better deck. It was way more consistent. I think he commented on my deck, saying that he thought my Bant deck was better than my Rakdos Izzet deck, and I think he's right. The only problem was that I didn't have a lot of answers for his flyers, so yeah, I was pretty lucky drawing that Sky Hussar in the final match, and I was pretty lucky that he didn't have the Halcyon Glaze down. Also, I was fairly unlucky that he did have the Halcyon Glaze down in game 3, because I might have been able to, if he didn't have the tempo that he had, I might have been able to actually finish him off, or at least take the match much closer to a victory. So yeah. But that's the first matchup, which knocks me into the losers bracket and kAzE on to round 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm multeyemeteor. Please let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed it, or if you have some comments, like could be about the deck that I drafted, could be about my plays, could be about anything. So let me know. And yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm multeyemeteor. Later!